So you want a Kawasaki Concours 14, baby. You want to suckle at the teat of sport touring glory. You want to liberate the Concours from the sullen shadow of the greats like the FJR1300 and the Hayabusa. The Concours has been in production for nearly 40 years, but often evades the limelight amongst other sport tourers. Is it too sporty for the average jean short enthusiast, or is it not sporty enough? There are so many things to consider. The Kawasaki Concours 14 is one of the most lauded motorcycles in all of history. So let's discuss everything you need to know about the Kawasaki Concours 14 on today's episode of Dad Energy Exude, Hard Luggage Accrued, Sport Touring Dude, Yammy Noob. Today's video is sponsored by our longtime partners at Rockform. Let's get into it. The 1980s gave birth to the sport bike as we know it today. High-revving four-cylinder engines, liquid cooling, and aerodynamic fairings had motorcycles going faster than ever. While these high-powered motorcycles were more than capable of sustaining high speeds with ease, they weren't exactly ideal for comfort or carrying capacity. To find the ideal balance between sport and utility, manufacturers modified the sport bike to have more comfortable ergonomics, increased wind protection, and the ability to comfortably carry both a passenger and luggage. Bikes like the Yamaha FJR1300 and Kawasaki Concours were the first to truly nail this cohesive package, and both since became long-lasting fixtures of the motorcycle industry. The Kawasaki Concours 1000 made its debut in 1986. It was conceived as a sport touring motorcycle, blending the spirited performance of a sport bike with the comfort and convenience necessary for extended stints of riding and long-distance travel. In the 1980s, motorcycles began to become highly specialized, with each motorcycle designed and built in a specific purpose. There were sport bikes for aggressive riding, cruisers for cruising, and now sport touring bikes for touring. Prior to this, there was really just a motorcycle. You had one bike that you had to do everything with. The rider at the time had to equip their UJM with hard luggage kits or aftermarket fairings if they wanted more touring capabilities, but these air-cooled bikes couldn't hold a candle to what bikes like the Concours would become in terms of performance or touring creature comforts. The original Kawasaki Concours, also referred to as the 1000 GTR in Europe and the ZG1000 in the USA, was rocking a 997cc four-cylinder liquid-cooled engine pulled from the Ninja 1000R. Like most touring greats, the Concours was utilizing a shaft final drive for high mileage reliability and low maintenance. When you're on a soul-searching journey with the boys, the last thing you want to do is clean and lube your chain in the Waffle House parking lot. Not when there are answers to life's greatest questions out there waiting to be discovered. This bike was really quite powerful for the time, able to effortlessly achieve speeds of upwards of 120 miles per hour. It certainly could have held a candle to a teenager delinquent on a clapped out 600, but it's pretty darn close. It had good power as well as agile handling. Coupled with features like a full fairing, tall windshield, dual hard panniers, and a girthy 28-liter fuel tank, the Concours 1000 was the ideal choice for long-distance touring. If you're watching this video, you're ready to get into sport touring. The open road is calling you, and if you've spent a substantial amount of time on your bike, having a Rockform phone mount is essential. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, it's absolutely worth investing in a Rockform phone case and mounting system. This combo ranks among the best investments you can make. It allows you to easily and securely attach your phone for directions, music control, or connecting to the latest proprietary apps featured on sport touring bikes nowadays. They've got drop-tested mag-safe cases for every phone out there. If you're into sport touring bikes or planning to get one, a Rockform phone case and handlebar mount is a must. It's as straightforward as that. Plus, use code YN25 for a generous 25% discount on your order. Head over to rockform.com, apply the code YN25 at checkout for the discount, and tell them you got sent by your sweet Papa Yam. Thanks to Rockform. Now let's get back to the show. The Concours drew inspiration for its sporty character from Kawasaki's Ninja 900 and the Ninja 1000R models. While using the Ninja engine, the Concours had been modified for more approachable and comfortable power. Notable differences between the Ninja 1000R and the ZG1000 Concours was the use of smaller 32mm carburetors, milder cam profiles, and the implementation of a reliable shaft drive, which always sacrifices a bit of power for the sake of reliability. Both front and rear subframes were unique to the Concours, along with the incorporation of hard luggage and a full fairing. The Concours made its way into the American market a year after the BMW K100 LT, Suzuki, which was slightly faster yet in standard Japanese motorcycle style, Kawasaki came in at less than 2/3 of the BMW's price tag. Motorcyclist magazine conducted tests on both models, ultimately favoring the Kawasaki, hailing it as the most practical, useful, and competent motorcycle made, and asserting its superiority over the BMW in nearly every conceivable aspect. From 1986 to 1993, the design remained largely unaltered, with minor tweaks to components like the windscreen and handlebars. In 1994, Kawasaki implemented upgrades to the instrument cluster, forks, controls, front fender, front brake, and front wheel. Over the span of 1994 to 2006, the design saw only slight modifications, including the addition of fork protectors and altered exhaust tips. Given the minimal revisions in the first generation of the Concours, both seasoned mechanics and a plethora of used parts remain readily accessible. In 2007, in the wake of gargantuan open-class superbikes like the Honda Super Blackbird and the Suzuki Hayabusa, Kawasaki debuted the Concours 14 shortly after the ZX14R sport bike. Upon its debut, the Concours 14 was an instant success, captivating riders with its powerful engine, advanced technology, and distinctive styling. Mid-2000s, motorcyclists just couldn't get enough of that big old dummy thick engine and those comfy cozy ergos. Successors to the Concours ZG1000, the new model was a significant leap forward in terms of performance and features. At the heart of the Concours 14 was a potent 1352cc inline-4 engine borrowed from the acclaimed Kawasaki Ninja ZX14. This engine was retuned to provide a more touring-oriented power delivery focusing on low and mid-range torque. With a healthy 155 horsepower and 100 foot-pounds of torque, it delivered easy acceleration while maintaining a level of class and sophistication expected from a sport touring machine. And while the reformed squid may cringe at the idea of neutering the four-cylinder beast, you gotta remember the use case. You don't want to power wheelie in fourth gear while you got your old lady on the back playing Candy Crush on her cell phone. Like most modern sport touring machines, one of the most noteworthy features of the Concours 14 was its advanced electronics package. It boasted a sophisticated KACT Kawasaki Advanced Coactive Braking Technology ABS system, offering enhanced safety and control during braking. You're gonna need it, it's kind of a big girl. The system distributed braking force between the front and rear wheels based on various parameters, ensuring stable and controlled stops in different riding conditions. The chassis design was meticulously engineered to balance the demands of sporty riding with long-distance comfort. A rigid monocoque frame provided exceptional stability, while the inverted fork and rear monoshock offered a plush yet controllable ride. The ergonomics were carefully crafted to provide a relaxed riding posture, allowing riders to cover long distances without fatigue. As the years progressed, Kawasaki continued to refine the Concours 14. Updates included improvements in the suspension setting, enhanced electronics, and subtle tweaks to styling. These incremental changes contributed to the bike's enduring popularity among riders seeking a versatile and capable machine for both spirited weekend rides and cross-country adventures. Seriously, this bike's been in sale for like forever. People still buy it. They still love it. In 2010, Kawasaki introduced the Concours 14 ABS, featuring the aforementioned KACT system. This was a significant milestone in motorcycle safety technology, setting a new standard for braking performance in the sport touring category. There are bikes just now implementing similar tech almost 15 years after the Concours. In 2015, the Concours 14 received further updates with revisions to its fairing and windscreen design to enhance aerodynamics and reduce wind buffeting. This refinement emphasized Kawasaki's commitment to providing riders with a comfortable and enjoyable long-distance touring experience. Over the years, the Kawasaki Concours 14 has garnered a dedicated following, and they are very vocal, with riders praising its blend of performance, comfort, and reliability. It's become a go-to choice for those who demand a motorcycle capable of devouring miles while offering a sporting and enjoyable ride. Offended by the engorged footprint of this machine, the Kawasaki Concours 14 is no longer sold in Europe or Asian markets and has since become a gem exclusive to the US, Canada, and Latin America. The current MSRP for Kawasaki Concours 14 is $18,999, which is kind of a steal. One of the greatest competitors of the Concours is the Yamaha FJR1300. These two motorcycles have been riding hand in hand since their succinct debut in 1986. In terms of engine power, the Concours 14 features a 1352 inline-4 that delivers around 155 horsepower, while the Yamaha FJR1300 boasts a 1298cc inline-4 engine producing approximately 146, with slight variations depending on the model year. Both motorcycles have good suspension, though it's worth noting that on the current FJR models, the suspension is electronically adjustable. In the realm of electronics, both the Concours 14 and FJR1300 have their merits, but the FJR is arguably more well equipped. Each bike includes traction control, cruise control, and anti-lock brakes. The FJR1300 offers an additional level of customization with adjustable engine mapping, allowing riders to fine-tune their ride experience. The FJR also has nice creature comforts like adjustable ergonomics, lean-sensitive lighting, and heated grips. Both bikes have hard luggage and adjustable windscreen for touring ease, and one notable feature of the Kawasaki Concours 14 is the KACT ABS system, an advanced braking tech that offers extra control when stopping this nearly 700-pound machine. And on the other hand, the Yamaha FJR offers unified braking and the aforementioned electronically adjustable suspension. Ultimately, for those in the market for a Japanese sport touring machine, it would be hard to go wrong with either bike. The FJR is a bit cheaper as well with an MSRP of $18,299. If you're not just a sport touring dad, but a sport touring sugar dad, you may have enough money to explore the more bourgeoisie touring options like the K1600 from BMW. This bike has a 1649cc 6-cylinder engine making 160 horsepower and 133 foot-pounds of torque. And if you're interested, I did a whole ride and review on one of these bad boys. In luxurious Bavarian fashion, the K1600 has tons of tech and comfort features. It has BMW's proprietary duo-lever and para-lever suspension. It uses an unnecessarily large 10.5-inch TFT display. Yes, 10.5 inches, not a typo. This bike has plenty of electronic engine management for systems like ride modes, traction control, engine brake control, and reverse assist. For long distance comfort, the Beamer has heated seats, heated grips, and hard luggage. This bike is more akin to a dedicated touring bike like the Honda Goldwing, prioritizing comfort and luxury before sporty performance or handling. Although the engine is huge and the machine makes 160 horsepower, so it definitely has some get up and go. Japanese sport touring machines have never had a problem competing with European alternatives, as the difference in price is a deal breaker for many. The cheapest BMW K1600 costs around 23 grand, and it quickly increases with the more equipped variants. If the K1600 falls much closer to the touring end of the spectrum, bikes like the Kawasaki Ninja 1000 SX or the H2 SX are on the more opposite side. The 1000 SX is a modified version of Kawasaki ZX10 Superbike. It's been modified for improved comfort and functionality on longer rides. It has more relaxed ergonomics compared to the ZX10 and added room for a passenger as well as hard luggage options. This bike uses a 1043cc engine that makes 140 horsepower. Although down on peak power from its race-bred sibling, the 1000 SX has Kawasaki's full suite of rider aids, including ride modes, TC, ABS, and a quick shifter. The 1000 XX is a smaller machine that may be more nimble in the twisties or quick off the line, but it won't be as comfortable or as equipped as the Concours 14. So that's a decision you're gonna have to weigh. The Ninja 1000 SX has an MSRP of $15,899. For about double the price, there is the Ninja H2 SX. Kawasaki's supercharged machines for dads who are ready to drop the kids off at daycare and enter sicko mode. The supercharged 999 4-cylinder is making 166 horsepower and 89 foot-pounds of torque and has every piece of motorcycle tech known to man. And I'll tell you this, the H2 SX can be tuned to make much more power than that. And it costs $32,799. But the sound of that supercharger flutter? Priceless. There are of course bikes like the Ducati Multistrada, the KTM Super Duke GT, and the Triumph Tiger 1200 GT, which are sporty touring bikes in their own right, but they're not really direct competitors to the Concours 14, as their design and riding styles are quite a bit different than the fully fared Japanese sport touring bike. These bikes have very upright ergos with mid-mounted foot controls and a wide handlebar, sharing design cues from adventure bikes. These bikes have tall windshields for protection from the wind, rocks, and coins from other drivers throwing them into fits of road rage. These bikes are using smaller, more highly tuned engines compared to the detuned and bloated 4-cylinders you'd see in the Concours. The Multistrada V4 and Super Duke GT each make about 170 horsepower, and the Triumph Tiger 1200 makes 147. This style of bike is going to weigh about 150 to 200 pounds less than a big fully fared sport touring bike with the 1400cc engine as well. In my opinion, something like the Multistrada or the Super Duke GT is really what you'd want to go for if you're trying to have basically everything in motorcycling. The Concours 14 to me strikes a bit of a last generation thought. So you want a Concours 14. For the rider that knows what they want, it's kind of hard to go wrong. With a long production window, they are plentiful. Seriously, you can pick one up for basically nothing. They have Japanese reliability and build quality. There are bikes that are more equipped, more powerful, lighter, or more versatile. But the Concours 14 is priced fairly for what you get, and there's a reason it's been going on for a long time. Is the FJR1300 pound for pound a better bike? Maybe. Can you just buy a Gen 1 Busa and put some saddlebag options on it? Also pretty good, but let's be honest, if you're really looking at a Concours, you're at least 45 years old. Who am I to be giving you advice? But thanks for watching all the way to the end. I appreciate all of you. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. We're giving away motorcycles at an incomprehensible rate, it seems. Seriously, in November, we have an insane amount of things going on. You're not gonna wanna miss it. So if you want in on the action, be sure to stay current on the channel because we're moving through bikes fast. Thanks again to Rockform for the support today. I will catch you guys on the next one. Fact: only 4 words in the English language end in dos. Horrendous, tremendous, hazardous, and stupendous. Goodbye.
Keep watching Yami Noob.